Welcome to Halcyon Lifestyle. I'm your host, Halcyon, and this is our Christmas special. On tonight's episode, we'll first visit Newport, Rhode Island, where HGTV is celebrating 25 years of home giveaways. Next, we'll take a trip to Yuba City, California, to visit Sunsweet growers. Nothing says the holidays like beef. A quick flight to Denver, Colorado, to visit Beef, It's What's for Dinner. On to New York to break out the Baileys and whip out your whisk with comedian Lonnie Love. And our gift-giving 101 trends this season, plus our two-part special documentary series, China Matters. All coming up next on Halcyon Lifestyle. Stay tuned. I'm Halcyon, and thank you for joining us for our first annual Christmas special. Now, a lot of you may be familiar with the TV network HGTV. Our friend Brian Patrick Flynn, who is a designer, has invited us along for a tour of their 25th edition of their HGTV Dream Home, located in beautiful Newport, Rhode Island, a stunning coastal oasis sitting at over 3,300 square feet. A fully furnished, newly built residence to the grand prize winner, along with $250,000 from Rocket Mortgage. Take it away, Brian.
Welcome to the HGTV Dream Home 2021 in the picture-perfect New England town of Newport, Rhode Island. I am stoked to give you a tour of the entire house, starting right here in this beautiful kitchen. Everything was designed around the incredible view outside those windows. We've got a very classic color scheme going on in here that is definitely coastal. It's all navy, white, and brown. The cabinets, both the lowers and the uppers, are really beautiful, rich shade of navy. The island countertop is an engineered stone that looks like white Carrara marble. For a nod to all of the yacht culture here in Newport, the perimeter countertops are a darkly stained wood. Just a few steps from the kitchen is the living room, and its design is pretty dramatic, and that's not just because of the red wall color, it's also because it's 2 stories tall. I made a really bold statement with the fireplace. It goes from the floor all the way to the ceiling on the 2nd floor. The art that's on the fireplace is also a really big nod to the history of New England. It's the type of ship you would have seen back in the 17th century. I had it commissioned from an artist friend, and he really brought it to life. It's a soaring space, so I really wanted to anchor it, and that's why we have the oversized chandelier that's made of polished nickel. And just on the other side of the living room is the informal dining space. I decided to go with the table that brought in very classic cottage style, and that's why you see the weathered top and the painted wood base. Plus it's ovular, so we've got this nice rounded edge that breaks up all the harsh lines of the rectangles you see throughout the room. Those are all the common spaces here on the main level. Now let's go take a look at the first of 3 guest suites. Here, my goal was to create a fun and playful space for guests that could also double as a remote learning or workspace. I wanted this room to have a youthful vibe, and I thought it would be interesting to mix mid-century modern style into it, and that's what the workstation is made up of. The gallery wall in here is a little bit of a surprise. I knew I wanted a television in the room, but I didn't want it to be super visible, so I camouflaged it by adding all these beautiful things very reminiscent of New England around the TV. There's another great space on this wing of the main level. It's right across the hall. This is the library, and it's all about quiet and simplicity. There's a dramatic and kind of unexpected shade of brown on the walls, and I accented it with almost all white furnishings. Being that this is a library, it was really important to have bookshelves in here. So I created the look of a custom built-in by putting 3 identical bookshelves side by side. When I was designing this room, I kept thinking about how so many people are working from home these days. So I thought being able to close the door, have all this beautiful natural light, and create a calm and restful place to focus on work would be the key. These 2 spaces on the main level have different purposes, but they're both about rest and relaxation. Now let's head upstairs to see the rest of the house. The upper level has 2 guest bedrooms, and they could not be more different. The first one mixes 2 styles you might not think of mixing together: coastal and collegiate. For sure, the star of the room in here is the bed. You cannot help but notice the beautiful bed. It's got a gorgeous tartan fabric on its headboard and its base, and it mixes different shades of blue, white, gray, red, and green, which are very preppy, very Ivy League colors. The second guest bedroom has a much beachier vibe, and that all starts with the walls and the ceiling. There's a surf-inspired vibe going on in here because I found out that Rhode Island as a whole is a state that's known for surfing. In order to pay homage to the surfing culture, I went to a surf shop and bought 2 surfboards in shades of aqua and white and attached them to the wall as sculpture. Aqua is a very bold color, and I wanted to tone it down a bit, so that's why I brought in the white duvet cover and a white shag rug. Now that you've seen the guest bedrooms, let's head down the beautiful open hallway to the main bedroom suite. In the main bedroom suite, I really leaned into the New England preppy college culture that's all around the area we're in, and then I also played up the sailing and coastal vibes. The walls and the ceiling are wrapped in this really beautiful, energetic, and earthy shade of green. I wanted to bring kind of like an Ivy League, and I mean that in a literal way, look to the walls and the ceiling. So I stuck with this color because it felt really grown up, very polished, and also very collegiate. This room is generously sized. In fact, there was so much room to use that I took advantage of one corner and made it into a seating area. Around the corner is the attached bathroom, and it's been designed in a European open concept style. When I say European style, I'm talking about the fact that there is no separation between the shower and the rest of the room. There's no shower door. It's all one huge open space. The way this works is the contractor and I work together to create a system that allows the floor to slightly slope so all the water goes directly down the drain. The freestanding tub also adds to the spa-like amenities in here. There are plenty of them. We have a rain shower head inside of the shower. There's 6 body sprays and a fixed and detachable shower head. There's also a double vanity in here with very classic fixtures. The cabinets themselves are a beautiful shade of gray that you see in the veining of the tile. So it's this really beautiful combination of whites, grays, and deep blues. Now, let's head all the way back down 2 flights of stairs to look at the lower level, which I designed to be all about relaxing and having fun. This is a large, open and airy space with a ton of natural light and a killer $1 million view outside. So I wanted to make it all about coastal living, but like kind of turn up the fun factor a little bit, starting with the walls and the ceiling. The color that you see with the paint is kind of a cross between aqua and turquoise, but to help balance out the saturated tones on the walls and the ceilings, you'll notice I've used mostly neutral blue grays and also navies. I've got an L-shaped sectional that's in a very nice neutral shade of a white gray. So this area over here is meant for long-term lounging, but in this corner, I've got these hanging chairs, and what I really love about them is they're kind of retro, so this little corner is great for conversations for adults or for kids and teens. Then this zone towards the back of the lower level is all about shuffleboard. This, before I found this shuffleboard, this was more just like a narrow hallway, but because this is only about 2 feet wide, it was the perfect thing to fill the space. Also, it gives this area over here a lot of function. People can play this game and also keep score on this vintage looking schoolhouse style chalkboard that is 8 feet wide. And that's the entire house. This New England home is packed with classic Americana touches and modern day conveniences. I'm in the amazing backyard of the house, and it's an outdoor living dream. There are sections to hang out and fully take advantage of everything Newport, Rhode Island has to offer year-round. Let's start with the outdoor kitchen. It's fully covered and fully outfitted. In addition to the beautiful cabinets and countertops, it's got an integrated sink, there's a refrigerator, warming drawers, and a stainless steel grill. It's also an amazing place to hang out. There are 4 bar stools that allow people to eat and hang out while somebody else is prepping or cooking. The kitchen's made from these weathered gray pavers that are carried over to the built-in fire pit just a few steps away. The fire pit area is amazing. First of all, it's really easy to use because it's gas operated, so you seriously just turn it on and you're done. Also, we've got these architectural divider walls that double as extra seating, so you can be near the fire but not too close to it. And then we have 2 beautiful rockers that face the view. And on the other side of the fire pit is the outdoor dining space. What I love about this is the overall rustic but elevated and elegant look. There's seating for 8, and we oriented the table so it can take advantage of the views. And then on the opposite side of the backyard, there's even a putting green. And the final space here in this amazing backyard is this stunning waterfront pergola. It's just a few steps away from all the other areas, but it feels a little bit more private. I also love that there is plenty of seating for people here. In fact, the sofa itself is 10 feet wide. We've also got an incredible view of the river that you can see from any spot on it. And when the sun becomes stronger, you can control the shades. Regardless of the season or the activity, this backyard has something to offer everyone year-round.
With the holidays looking different this year, Sunset Growers is hoping to inspire households with new recipes, creating feel-good moments all season long. Warm up your home with delicious baked goods as we take a look at some of the family's favorites and tips for making treats this year. Take a look.
Welcome to the channel. I'm Alicia if you're new, and I'm so excited you're here. 'Tis the season for baked goods galore, but 'tis also the time of year when I really tend to notice all that I'm grateful for. This year has been tough for all of us in so many ways, but my gratitude practice has kept me grounded. Things are never perfect, but when I intentionally notice what I appreciate and what fills me up, I really feel empowered to take on whatever comes with a full and open heart. This year, I'm feeling especially grateful for the people in my life that I love, and I thought I would use this video to express that. I love sharing my heart with baking, so I am making a brownie recipe specifically designed for each of my sisters, Nadia and Layla, and of course, my love, Christian. This video was made possible by Sunsweet, who I'm also very grateful for. I've shared their products many times in videos before, and I really appreciate all they do as a company. Products like Sunsweet's Amazing Prunes and Dates are nutritious dried fruits that fit into recipes year-round, and they all have endless uses in holiday goods too. First, I am making a milk chocolate mint walnut brownie for my middle sister Nadia. They've got a mint frosting, and I even made them gluten-free, which I know she appreciates. I start by soaking Sunsweet dates in hot water for 10 to 15 minutes. And then I can drain them and pulse in the food processor until relatively smooth, adding a bit of water if needed to get it pureed and integrated. Sunsweet dates are naturally sweet and complement the chocolate flavor really well, not to mention they add 3 grams of fiber per serving. Using these means that we're gonna add very little sugar into the actual recipe. I kept this recipe extra easy because everything goes into the food processor. So first, some softened butter, just pulsing to combine, followed by eggs and vanilla extract, and a small bit of sugar pulsing, and then letting it go for a minute until smooth and fluffy, which is gonna make this a lovely cakey brownie. Finally, in goes the gluten-free 1-for-1 flour, or you could use regular or wheat flour if you prefer, along with cocoa powder, baking soda, and salt. Pulse until integrated. You don't wanna over-mix it here. Then by hand, I stir in some chocolate chips and walnuts. I know she loves nuts and brownies, and so do I. Do you like nuts and brownies? let me know in the comments. But you could of course leave them out if you prefer. That gets added into the pan, and I like to line brownie pans with foil for easy removal later on, and then bake until they're set. You have to let it cool completely before frosting, which you can't skip if you want these to be mint, because I didn't actually add any mint into the brownie. It's in the frosting. So with a hand mixer, or you could use a stand mixer, I beat softened butter until creamy, and then add in confectioner's sugar and milk for a few minutes. Then add in some peppermint extract and a drop of green food coloring if you want it to be green. I did. Adjust to the extract to taste. You don't need too much. I don't recommend regular mint extract because it tastes more like toothpaste. And I don't know about you, but I am not going for a toothpaste flavored brownie. Once these brownies are cool, add the frosting and let it sit for an hour or so. I also make a milk chocolate glaze by melting chocolate over a double boiler setup. And once it's nearly melted, add the butter and integrate until smooth. Once it's smooth, that can be drizzled over the cool brownies on top of the frosting. Let it set again before slicing. Oh my gosh, look at that. These brownies are so fluffy, cakey, and delicious, you would never know they're gluten-free. The dates add a wonderful sweetness and moisture, as they tend to do with baked goods, and these are perfect for my sister, who I know prefers a lighter, fluffier cake texture to a rich and fudgy brownie. I also personally love the crunch of the nuts, and that mint frosting adds sweetness and the cooling mint flavor, but it's not at all overpowering. This might have been my favorite of the day, and I'm not even a chocolate person, and I love how gorgeous these are for gifting. So Nadia actually works as a part of the Mind Over Munch team. I could not do everything that needs to be done without her. Filming, recipes, managing the post-production, the website, the newsletters, it all would not really happen without her. More than work though, of course, I'm grateful that she always encourages me to follow my heart, and she reminds me to always try my best to do the right thing. No one tries harder than her, and Nadia, I want you to know how grateful I am for you. Next, I've got salted caramel blondie bars for my youngest sister, Layla. Okay, Layla and I tend to be aligned culinarily. Both of us tend to prefer blondies to brownies. For this recipe, I start by combining melted butter and brown sugar, and then when the sugar has dissolved, I add in eggs and vanilla extract, whisking until smooth. Separately, I whisk together flour, baking powder, and salt, and then that gets added into the wet mixture. Now you can add in your favorite mix-ins. I went with white chocolate chips and chopped pretzels because I know Layla loves salty sweet. That batter gets poured into a prepared pan and bakes until golden brown on the edges, and a toothpick should come out clean. I am going to make a salted caramel out of dates to drizzle on top when they come out of the oven. I combine a pack of Sunsweet dates with salt, vanilla extract, and slightly warmed milk. Dairy or nut milk is fine. Blend that together until super smooth, and you'll want to use it immediately or store for later. I recommend getting this ready to go on the brownies right away when they come out of the oven, and then let them cool before cutting. This is seriously good on everything. It's salty and sweet. Sunsweet dates have a rich, almost caramel-like taste already, and their soft and chewy texture makes them perfect for this recipe and for cooking and baking in general. My family has always loved snacking on dates, as is too. These bars are amazing. If you are not a chocolate person, this is for you, but these blondies are almost like a cookie bar. They're just not quite as dense. The crunchy, salty pretzel combined with the white chocolate and salted date caramel is literally one of the best flavor combinations of all time. My sister Layla lives in Florida, where I grew up. She's finishing up school, and as much as I love California, it does suck to be so far away from her. Even though she's super busy though, she still makes time to check in with me and chat weekly, and I'm so grateful that she is willing to put that effort into our relationship. Also, she's so pragmatic and reasonable, and I'm grateful for her reminders to just take things a step at a time when sometimes I find myself getting wrapped up in an emotion or whatever is happening. I love you, Layla. Okay, I've got one more, but just as a reminder, if you want more holiday content, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell. I have some super fun videos coming soon. Lastly, I am making my boyfriend Christian some fudgy dark chocolate and orange brownies. Hold the nuts. First, I am making a prune puree to make these brownies extra fudgy. I just blend together Sunsweet Amazing prunes in water until extremely smooth, around 3 to 5 minutes. I have made this prune puree before many times, and it's a great way to cut down on sugar, fat, and calories, add fiber and nutrition, and to add a rich fudginess to the brownies, which I know Christian loves and prefers. For the brownies, I whisk together flour, cocoa powder, baking powder, salt, and orange zest. Yum, I love how much flavor the zest of an orange adds. Separately, I whisk together melted butter, eggs, and vanilla extract. Then I can stir in the prune puree, followed by orange juice, and finally some brown sugar. Christian loves brown sugar, and you won't often see brown sugar in brownies, but here's a tip. If you want a fudgy, chewy brownie, give brown sugar a try, even in your regular brownie recipe. Because Sunsweet prunes have no added sugar, but also so much natural sweetness, I was able to cut down a bit of the sugar in this recipe too. Then combine the dry ingredients into the wet, and it's ready to go into the pan and bake. Now, Christian does not like nuts in his brownies. I personally think this is a mistake, especially in fudgy brownies, but these are for him, so I'll leave them out. You can add them if you'd like. Let those set at room temperature to cool before adding a chocolate layer. It is similar to the glaze we made earlier. That was milk chocolate. This one is dark for Christian. But if you don't want to deal with the double boiler, simply melt butter in a saucepan over medium heat and then add in some dark chocolate chips and stir constantly as it melts. This can also be done in the microwave at 20-second intervals. Once it's smooth, pour over the top of those cooled brownies and let it set a bit before cutting into squares. I also topped it off with some orange zest for prettiness. Okay, now typically dark chocolate is not my thing, but dark chocolate and orange, it's like a different food than dark chocolate alone. That zest and juice add so much flavor to these. Between the brown sugar and the Sunsweet prune puree, these are fudgy, rich, moist, and certainly delicious. I am grateful for Christian for so many reasons. Not only is he the reason that Mind Over Munch was really able to come to be, he edited every video on his own the first few years. He taught himself how to edit so that I could do this, but he's also supported me through so much growth and change the last few years. He's always let me know that, no matter how I grow, he wants to support me to do what feels true. And that's not a gift that everyone would give. So I'm grateful that he's willing to indulge me with my mindfulness journey, because we actually do a gratitude practice together every night, sharing 3 things each of us are grateful for. I hope you guys enjoyed these brownies. Let me know in the comments, what is one thing you're grateful for, big or small? And what would your ideal custom brownie be? Thanks to Sunsweet for sponsoring this video. I am grateful for Sunsweet products, and while I love using them year round, they always come in handy over the holidays. I also want all of you to know that I'm grateful for you. This channel has changed me so much. I have grown a lot because of all I've learned from you, and I'm more excited than ever to be creating our upcoming content. Thanks for all of your wonderful kindness and support, and thanks to Sunsweet for always believing in me too. This time of year, I can't help but be filled with gratitude. I hope you have a wonderful holiday season. I'll be back next week with more holiday content, and remember, it's all a matter of mind over munch.